Hello, it's Dan, the physio from PT Kids. I'm going to demonstrate for you now a lying programme which is designed to help children who are in the early stages of their development, perhaps have some developmental delay, or perhaps have been diagnosed with a neurological condition that's going to affect their development. Now I've got a very willing volunteer to help me, and that's going to be Dolly. We've all got to make do and mend in the current climate. So Dolly's going to help me with demonstrating the exercises. They're designed to help a variety of children, so they're quite generic. So it's not to replace any specific advice or exercises you've been given by your physio. But hopefully this will be a little bit of a programme you can follow, a little bit of a 20-minute, 25-minute blast of floor activities for your child to help them with their floor development. So we're going to start off with a few little stretches. Now these stretches are good for children who might be a little bit stiff in their arm and leg movements. So the first one is going to be a stretch for those arms. So we've got Dolly lying on their back. I'm going to come in front. I'm going to make some nice eye contact with Dolly while we're doing all of our exercises. I'm going to keep her body quite still. I'm going to take her arm and I'm going to stretch it up above her head. I'm going to try and get that arm straight. We're going to try and get that elbow straight. Trying to get that hand straight. I'm maybe going to do a little bit of brushing over the top, or give a little bit of pressure down through the arm as it's up. I'm going to hold it for a few seconds and then I'm going to bring it back. Okay, we're going to do 5 of these on each side. So we're going to keep that body still, not let the body twist away. Lift that arm up, lift the shoulder up, arm above the head, flat arm, flat elbow, flat hand if we can, a little bit of pressure, back down. Just work within what range is comfortable for your child. So if they feel very stiff in their arm movements, what we usually say, it's firm, but we're not forcing. 4, 5 big stretches of those arms and back. Now we're going to do the same with the other one. Dolly's lying nice and straight in the middle. Keep that body still, just block those shoulders a little bit with my hand. With my other hand we're taking the arm and we're stretching it above our head. Elbow straight, hand straight. A little bit of pressure through that arm as it's up above their head, and bring it back. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big stretch. Hold that stretch at the top. Give that arm a little bit of a brush. Straighten that elbow. Straighten out those fingers. The best way, if you're struggling to get those fingers out straight, is to just give a little bit of deep pressure where the thumb is, just in the fleshy part of the thumb. A little bit of deep pressure in that part of the hand can just help it relax and help those fingers come out a little bit more. So that's great. So we've had a nice little stretch of our arms. We could even do 2 arms together. Oh, stretch above our head. We're going to touch our head. We're going to stretch our arms up above the head and touch our head. Good. So the next stretch we're going to do is for the hips. This stretch is great for children who are a little bit stiff in their legs, but it's also good for those children who tend to go into a frog position. When they're lying on the floor, those legs roll out to the side. You usually find those children get a little bit stiff in the side of their hips on the outside. So to give those a stretch, we're going to bend the knee up, cross the foot over the leg. I'm going to use one hand to keep the body quite still, so it's flat to the floor, and then I'm going to push the knee across the body gently so I can feel it stretching. I'm going to hold it for a few seconds, then we're going to relax and come back. So we're keeping the body flat, we're bending the knee up, we're crossing the foot over, and then we're pushing the knee across the other leg, like so. Hold it for a few seconds, and come back. So we're going to do 5 on each side. Up, across, push, feel a stretch, and over, up, across, push that knee out to the side. Some children might want to try and roll with you. Try not to let them do that. So we're just hand on top of their hips, one hand over that leg and pushing that leg out to the side. That's great. When we've done 5, we're going to do the other side. Bend one knee up, knee, foot over, and push across. Over, push across. You could stay here, you could just relax and then push across. Relax and push across. Hold it for a few seconds each one. We're just getting warmed up for this. If you wanted to do a really, really good stretch, ideally you'd be holding it for probably up to about 30 seconds. But we're just getting warmed up into our little floor routine at the minute. So when you've done 5, we're going to bring those legs up to the tummy, and we're going to give these legs a little bit of a bicycle. So we're going to do reciprocal legs. We're going to do one, then the other. We're going to do 10 circles. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is good for children who perhaps use their legs by pushing them both together, or if those legs are a little bit stiff, we're going to work to bend that knee. If the knees are a little bit stiff, just a little prompt behind the knee to help for it to bend. And bring both knees up, little prompt behind the knee, bend those knees up to the tummy, and we're going to do 10 circles again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. We're getting those legs warmed up. We're going to do it slightly different this time. We're going to bend those knees up, bend those knees up. We're going to squeeze Dolly into a tight ball. So you're going to push those knees right up to the chest and give a little squeeze. And again, we're going to bring those knees right up, right to the chest. Give Dolly a little squeeze. Knees bent, squeeze it in tight. Just a little bit of pressure at the end. These sorts of things are quite nice for children who struggle with their digestion, or as those knees come up to the tummy, doing some knee rolls from left to right as I'm looking. That's quite nice to help with digestion. But we're just getting warmed up for our floor routine. We're doing a big squeeze. We're just trying to give a little bit of proprioceptive feedback to those legs. We're coming into a flex position. We're starting to wake up the tummy a little bit now. So there we go. Hopefully we've done. It's nice to do some of these passive movements because we're trying to give feedback to each of the limbs and the body, wake it all up, let us know that it's got to be ready to do a little bit of work. So the next thing we want to do, obviously one of the most important things for us when we're doing therapy, is to help try and engage the children with what we're doing. So I've got a few toys to engage Dolly. And what I want her to do while we're on the floor is we're just going to do a little bit of tracking and following. So what I want to do is for her to fix on the toy that I've chosen for her, or perhaps choose one of her favourite toys. Look for her eyes to catch the toy that I've got, and then I'm going to move it from one side, looking for that head to follow around, over to the other side, looking for Dolly to keep on her back, and follow the toy that eye's going to move it slowly across. If she stops looking at it, we'll maybe come back to the middle and try again, try and catch her eyes. Or if she starts to stop rolling, we can stop and then keep going. So we're going to do this roughly about 5 times from side to side. Make sure we've got their attention, and do some nice track and follow, fix and follow with those eyes, and getting that head turning, which is great. Now we've done that, we'll maybe change toy and pick something else. What I'm wanting to do now is try and bring those hands together and do a little bit of two-handed activity. So I really like ball-shaped things to do for this, because they fit quite nicely in the shape of your hand. So it's really good for working on palm grip. I also quite like those toys that they can stick their fingers into, because they're quite good for working on two-handed activities. Sometimes they'll get hold of it, and even as a little bit of an accident to start with, they'll grab a hold of it and keep hold of it with two hands, perhaps a little easier than this tennis ball, but we're mending and making do, don't forget. So I'm going to offer the toy in the middle, hoping that Dolly's going to reach probably with her favourite hand, and she's going to play with this toy that we've got. So once she's got it with that one hand, I'm going to do a little bit of hand over hand to keep it there, and if she's not offering that other hand as well, I'm going to help her bring it to it, and we've got it now in two hands. I'm going to keep doing hand over hand. I'm going to give her a little bit of a squeeze in the middle. I'm hoping that she's following it with her eyes too, and she's having a little bit of a look to see what we're playing with. And she's got it with two hands in the middle. If I can feel her holding on to it, I'm going to let go. If she drops it, which maybe she might do, I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to bring it back into her field of vision, hope that she's following it and looking. I'm going to bring it into the middle. If those two hands don't come together, which, you know, that's what we're wanting to do, we want two hands to come together. If she comes with her favourite hand, I'm going to help her hold on to it. I'm going to encourage the other hand to come across. We've then got it in two hands. I'm going to give her a squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Give her that feeling of having those two hands together. If she's doing well with holding it, I might come down a little bit lower onto those shoulders to keep those shoulders coming forwards, and squeezing on that toy and looking at what we're doing. Looking in the middle, two hands together. Good job. Well done, Dolly. This is not even the least masculine thing that I've ever done, by the way, but there we go. So, tracking and following. We've done our two-handed activities. We've got those arms and legs warmed up, and so what we're going to work on now is going to work on doing a little bit of rolling. So when we're doing rolling, we want to we're looking for the legs and the shoulders to be working separately. So I'm still probably going to want my toy, and we're going to perhaps place the toy somewhere, you know, I think, you know, maybe like a noisy toy might be a little bit better for this. Because what I want to do, if Dolly can do it herself, I'm going to offer her the toy, going to follow it across, and then hopefully she's going to roll over to get to that toy that she's interested in, okay? If we need a little bit of help with rolling, we're still offering the toys, we're putting them where I want her to roll to. We're looking for perhaps the leg to move first, so the leg's coming up and over. So I'm looking for that hip to come across, then the shoulder to follow to the side. Once we're on that side, I'm just helping a little bit, maybe giving Dolly a little bit of a prompt to come over. Once we're over, at the minute we've got one arm out here and one trapped underneath her body. So what we wanted to do is then place her arms underneath. So to help her do that, we might bring one arm forward, prop it down. With my other hand, I'd probably lift that shoulder up a little bit so she can free that arm, prop it down, and we've rolled over, okay? On the way back, it's sort of the opposite. So I might need to help Dolly just to tuck that arm underneath, and then I'm going to encourage her to roll over. I'm going to bring the toy back, because we've got to want to roll for a reason, although a lot of children will probably just roll just to get off their tummy as quick as they possibly can. We're coming over and back, okay? So whenever we're doing rolling, we're looking for the body to move on the hips. So we're bringing leg up, coming over, rolling, rolling, rolling. So looking for Dolly to do as much as what she can on her own. Give her a little prompt over here. Bring that arm over. Come on, Dolly, reach for your toy. Over she goes. When she's on that tummy, you might want to have a little bit of help. Bring that arm forward, prop. Lift that shoulder up a little bit, prop, head up, and you've got it. Good job. Okay. On the way back, I'm helping Dolly just tuck that arm under. So I'm just pushing that arm under just a little bit, or you could stretch that arm right up above your head. It depends what their tightness is like in those arms. If they're a little bit tight, they're probably going to favour having it tucked under, close to the body. If they're a little bit looser or a bit more bendy, you might be able to get that arm up above the head and you can roll over the arm like that. Either way, if the arm's out to the side, or perhaps if I show you on this side, if that arm's out to the side and you try and roll, it's going to act as a block and it's going to stop Dolly from rolling back onto her back. So we need to work on placing those arms. So we're either going to stretch it up to roll over, shoulders first and then legs, or we're going to tuck it under, then that's going to take that shoulder down, then Dolly can hopefully then come perhaps shoulder first, legs first, or leg first, shoulder next, over. So I would like you to practice that with your Dolly, perhaps 5 times on each side. Pause the video if you need to. You can always chop this video up into little segments and practice it separately too, as well if it's too much to do all in one go. My Dolly's very compliant, so I can do all of my program all in one. Your Dolly might not be quite so compliant. Okay, so once we've worked on that nice slow rolling, so remember it's leg over, hips coming over, shoulder coming over, head is turning, looking where we're going, onto our tummy, organising ourselves, arm forward, shoulder up, arm out, propping on the way back, tuck under, shoulder coming round, head coming round, leg coming over onto our back. If you're getting good at that, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of rolls a little bit quicker. Okay, so give Dolly plenty of space. We could maybe do 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, depending on how good your Dolly is at rolling. So we're going to come, I'm going to help. I've moved Dolly's toy all the way over here and I want to see if Dolly's going to roll over and get it. So instead of just having to do 1 roll, we're going to maybe have to do 2 or 3. So Dolly, toy over here. I'm perhaps going to try and use the legs a little bit to help guide the movement. So we're coming over, over, over. Organise that arm, ready, we're going again. So I'm tucking under, rolling over, over. We still can't quite reach, we're going to have to roll again. Leg over, arm over, onto our tummy, organise, arm out. You've got it. Good job, Dolly. Okay. The thing about being a physio is all you're really doing is placing children's toys out their way, and then as soon as they get it, taking it off them and placing it again even further out of their way. So I'm going to put it all the way over here. Okay, Dolly's on her tummy. We're going to do some fast rolls, so we're going to go tuck that arm, coming over, over, over. All the time I want Dolly to do as much herself as what she can do. Just watch out for that. Don't go too fast because the arm might act as a block, so tuck that arm under or up, over, there we go. So perhaps if I show you this way, if we go too fast we'll end up there and then we're stopped. This arm's acting as a block and it's stopping us, we can't roll over. Don't roll over an arm like that. Ooh, that poor shoulder will be in all kinds of trouble. So make sure we're stretching it up, over we go. Over, 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 here we are. Stretch that arm, over, over, over. Keep going if you can, okay? See if you can do 2, 3 or 4 or 5 rolls all in a row to get to where Dolly wants to get to. Okay, pause if you need to, or if you're still with us, we'll keep going. So once we've done some of our quick rolling, we're going to move on to doing a little bit of tummy time. Okay, and we all know that this is the children's favourite thing to do. Not so. If you need to, you can always use a rolled up towel or a cushion to help you. Okay, so I'm going to show you with this rolled up towel. I'm going to pop Dolly on it. We're going to roll over, stretch that arm up, coming over, and when we're here, let me just bring Dolly a little bit closer, sorry Dolly. When we're here, we're looking to have those arms forwards, perhaps propping on the towel or propping on the floor. My Dolly's arms aren't very long, so she's probably going to prop on the towel, and we're going to get that head up. Okay, I want Dolly to stay here as long as she'll tolerate until she starts screaming for me to let her go. So we're going to put something there that's interesting for Dolly to look at. Usually it's the little boys that like looking at themselves in the mirrors. But here we go. So mirror in front, Dolly lifting that head up. Okay, we're going to keep Dolly there. We're going to keep her interest as much as we can. We're going to hold it, hold it, hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Okay. If you're progressing away from doing it on the towel, we can get rid of that. And perhaps you can prop Dolly's elbows underneath like that. I mean, all the time I'm looking for Dolly to organise her own arms as she can, but if she ends up sort of nosedive on the floor, I'm going to give her a little bit of help. I can always just give a little prompt just underneath the shoulders to encourage that head lift. And of course, one of the best things for getting children to lift their head up and look is favourite toy. Once we've got that head up, we're going to track and follow it again from side to side. So we're going to get that head turning and turning. So we're keeping Dolly's arms propped. If she loses the position, let's bring it back. Prop, tummy time. Okay, we all know tummy time is great for development. And I'm sure all of you out there who've got children with developmental needs are doing your 10-15 minutes of tummy time every day. Tummy time is great. So this is part of our floor routine. We're going to stay down here. I would do a couple of minutes as part of this routine on your tummy, or a little bit longer if you're tolerating it. Okay. If they're getting really tired, don't be afraid to come back and have a little rest. Use the towel if you need to progress it down a bit if they're getting really tired. Okay, over onto that tummy, propping on those elbows in front so it's kind of like this, and with the head up. And holding it. If they're getting very, very good, they could start to bring their hands down and push up onto straight arms a little bit. Okay. Like so. And I'm going to bring Dolly back onto her back because she's done great on her tummy, but she's having a little bit of a scream now and she would like me to bring her back onto her back. So we're going to finish our floor routine with a little bit of chin tuck and head lift. So this is for children who have perhaps working on strength around their head, neck and shoulders. Children perhaps described as having a head lag, or children that when you pick them up their head is backwards rather than coming forward. So we're working on strengthening the tummy, strengthening the head, neck and shoulders. So what I would do perhaps to start with for children that are quite floppy around their head is put them on their towel, or if you have one of those horseshoe cushions you can use that, or just a sofa cushion will be fine, just to slightly wedge them up a little bit. So I'm looking for legs to be flat and the body to be up a little bit. That's just going to put the abdominals in a slightly shortened position, so it's going to help to start engage some of these floppy, weak tummy muscles a little bit. Okay, and I could help Dolly a little bit too by putting something perhaps down by her feet that she might be interested in, because what I'm looking for her to do is to start to tuck that chin down and have a look down to those feet. Okay, sort of doing this movement. What I want to see is a little bit of what I've called like chin tuck. So we're looking for a bit of chin tuck, head lift. Okay, you can stay in this position for a while if you need to, working on that little bit of chin tuck and head lift, wanting Dolly to squeeze that tummy, tuck that chin down and look at their feet. Look what's down here. There we go. And then once we're getting good at that, we're going to start to do a little bit of pull to sit. Now, you might see people doing a pull to sit as a bit of a test to see what children's head control is like. We're going to sort of practice it as a little bit of a therapeutic exercise, but what I would not like to see you do or advise you to do is to sort of just hold on to Dolly's hands and pull her up when that head's all the way back. We want to try and support that head if we need to, but we want Dolly to work hard, and we want Dolly to work on her head control. So if Dolly finds this really hard to start with, I'm going to come onto shoulders. I'm going to pull the shoulders forwards, and I'm going to look for Dolly just to start to tuck that chin down a little bit and lift that head. What you might find is if they can feel something behind their head, they won't want to lift it up, because it's much more easy and comfortable to have something to lean on. So you might just have to start to bring Dolly off the cushion a little bit to start to get her to engage that tummy and tuck that chin. Okay, so I'll maybe do that 5 times. So we're on the shoulders, squeeze the shoulders forwards, chin tuck, head lift, come in, sitting up, 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 up. Great. On the way down, I want Dolly to keep as much chin tuck as she can on the way down without that head flopping backwards. So I don't want, as soon as I tip Dolly backwards a little bit, for that head to go straight back. So we're going to have to do it slowly. We're going to have to lower Dolly down slowly. If that head starts to go back too far, don't be afraid to bring her back up again. Hold it and try again. So we're back onto our back. Okay, so it's shoulders forwards, chin tuck, head lift. You might have to bring her up a little bit to get so that head might stay down, and then it'll start to come. Okay, if we're getting good at that, we could start to come up onto the arms, onto the hands. What I would do is perhaps just give a little bit of tension in the arms, and I'm really then feeling for Dolly just to start to pull herself up. Okay, children who are really good at this will probably, as soon as you give a little prompt by pulling on the hands, they'll start to come forward straight away. Okay, but we're squeezing here, chin tuck, head lift, using the hands coming up. On the way down, is a bit harder, so you might need to come back to the shoulders, lower down. Okay, but we're doing on the hands a little bit of tension, looking for that bit start of chin tuck, head lift. Give a squeeze, do it very, very slowly. Keep that tummy engaged all the way up and hold it. If you can keep going on the way down, holding onto the hands, that's great. If they can keep their head forwards without it being all the way back here. This is where we don't want it to be. We want to keep it here, coming down and hold. Great. And once you've done 5, you're at the end of our floor program. Good work. Thank you. So I hope you found that useful. If you have, please leave us a comment and let me know what you found most useful, or let me know what you found hard, or if you need any more help, then you can always get in touch. But thanks, and the next one we're going to try a little bit of a sitting program, so if you want to keep going with some of the developmental stuff, why not log into the sitting program next. Thanks, bye.